So let's start, today's topic, AWS Cloud Basics and Lab Setup. Have anybody tried at least lab setup from your, uh, have you
Right.
registered? No, right. So this is the link. I mean, if you just Google it, you will get it also. AWS console login, AWS console. Here you will get a, page like this. But this is for whoever is already having an access. You just need to type the account ID, username, password. But if you go down, scroll down, see there is a create a new AWS account. Here you need to provide you with the account details and account name. You can give your name. So again, you will, it is navigating to your uh, Gmail address. The link you are going to get it here. Once that is verified, let me navigate to Gmail. So you will get a, the code like this to our Gmail ID. You only just need to copy paste here. I already have account, but just I'm just giving you how to register. So then verify. Here you need to set the the username password, root user, and you need to write down somewhere which is needed afterwards, right? And continue. I'm just giving some random passwords. But anyway, you can try the same way only. So after that, you will get one option to give your residential address. Then you need to register your credit card or debit card. So they don't charge you only for for authentication purpose. They will ask you to register your credit card or debit card details. They will just simply deduct, I think, 1 or 2 rupees. And again, once the registration is successfully done, they are going to revert back your amount. Why they are asking these credentials? uh, Suppose if you are using any paid services, like if you wanted to use the maximum like 4 GB, 8 GB, 10 GB. So if you are going to increase your resources, there are the tariff will be applying your for the instances as well, right? So if you are using beyond the 1 hour, they are going to charge. But if you are terminating before 1 hour, so they don't charge at all. So that is the reason they are going to asking the credentials, I mean credit card details ahead in the time. So this
So,
part is. Mhm.
companies, I mean, if you are logging with the company credentials, then they will be having whatever the things. I
Yes,
mean,
yes, yeah,
they're,
they will be having this billing things. But after login, successful login, you supposed to create users. One user you are going to support as a Sashruti as a one user, so that only next time you no need to log into the root user always, right? You should not even log in to root user always. Whenever you need any payment related things, that time you're supposed to log in through the root user. Then after, you just need to create a one user. Once after log into that, I'll show you in the account. Uh, let's go to. So you'll get a console like this. So currently, I started as a copy as a user, and I just logged in as a copy user only. I'm not logging using the root user. Root user in essence, you need supposed to give a user your email ID and the root password. So that is not needed every time, right? So you will get a GUI like this. So this is the AWS Cloud GUI where you can check all the resources. So what all the resources are available uh, in the AWS Cloud. So let's go back to uh, so what all services available in the AWS? So what I mean, there are some services which are specific to the locations. I mean, the availability zones, but minimum the majority of the resources are almost available across all the regions. So what resources are available? EC2, S3 bucket, and virtual private cloud, RDS, AIM. Let me Google it. You will get all AWS resources list. So these are the supported list currently available in the AWS cloud. Okay, here only will just check all the services. There are plenty of resources. Okay, AWS Runner, App Runner, Airflow, Athena, AWS Artifact. But are you going to work in all the resources? No, we are not. We are working on only few services which are relevant to the DevOps. If you look at the EC2, where we are majorly working on creating the virtual resources, EFS, Elastic File Storage, Elastic Bench Stack, we're not much working. Elastic Container Registry, it's similar to Docker Registry, right? And but you can once you register, you will get to know all this. But majorly, we are working on EC2, SC bucket, virtual private cloud, RDS. RDS in the sense it's a database service, so we are not much involving. So IAM is the where users are going to create their user details, and um, so apart from that, Lambda, AWS Lambda is there, DynamoDB is there. It is a NoSQL. But are we working? We are not. Rarely we are working if we are using a Terraform. That too for logging purpose we are using, but not. But we are majorly working on EC2 instance and VPC. But VPC is one-time setup only. This is also one-time setup on IAM also. Because once you created your user, you don't need to create again and again. So that's it looks like. Let's look at what is EC2. E2 is EC2 is an again elastic cloud compute. It's a virtual. It's again a virtual machine. Virtual machine in the sense again it's a server or browsing um, uh, through the AWS services. So if you look at the EC2, so this is the EC2 dashboard where you can see the how many resources are already created and how many instances are running. What are the key pairs you are using? What are the security groups? So all these things you will get to know here. But before let's create a one instance so that you will get to know what are all things involved while creating the EC2 instance. Mm, DevOps training. I'm just giving the name of the server. I mean virtual machine. Here, if you just notice, there are images are there. Images in the sense the predefined golden images, which is provided by the Amazon itself. But also you can define your own image and you can store here so that for your uh, you know um, for your purpose. I mean usually in the companies they have their own golden images where they can make use of their images because they have already done some sort of packaging the things right according to their governance and the rules what the company is following. Everything is already bundled and they are just keeping as one image. From there while creating they are making use of that image only. They don't come they don't come here and choose the uh, existing provided AMIs. AMI in this sense again it's an Amazon machine image. Amazon machine image in the sense again it's a packed OS. Image is already using. We don't need build the OS from the scratch, right? So once the image is ready, you don't need to create from the start. You need to do the booting. You need to do all the setup. Is not required once the image is ready. So that's how the images are available. This is AWS Linux image, Mac OS image, Ubuntu image, Windows image. I'm just for creating purpose. I'm just using Amazon Linux. So if you look at these are all the uh, tires, free tires. If you are choosing any other than these two, they are going to charge in terms of hours. So that is the reason I'm just whichever is free trial, I'm just using the free trial image. Now see you will get one AMI ID. So this is the AMI ID for the respective to this Amazon Linux. And instance again instance in the sense the capacity of your server. What capacity you want nano is having what 5.1 CPU. It has T2 family, zero point 0.5 gig memory and so on so. But that is not again a free one. T2 micro is the free tier which is having T2 family, one CPU they are providing, 1 GB of RAM they are providing. So all these configurations they are giving as a free. And if you look at the T2 small, one CPU they are giving 2 GB memory and even some 0.032 US dollar per hour they are charging if you're gonna use this uh, uh, for the small T2 that small tariff. How much you're getting? 0.32. Somewhere you will get somewhere 30 to 40 rupees per hour. If you not 30 also, it is less 0.03. Yeah, they are charging. See, in terms of rupees, they are charging 2.78 rupees per hour if you are using this one. So like that, it is easily you can calculate and you can make use. If suppose if you wanted to uh, use sometime you need a minimum 2 or 4 GB memory for the Jenkins setup and all. There you will get to know this, but again it is a small amount only, and you can immediately you can terminate also before 1 hour. If you're terminating, they don't charge you. So like that. So I'm just using free tier here, and so key fire in the sense when you want to access your server from the from your uh, laptop, you need a one key in order to authenticate the AWS, right? So just I have already created, but still I am going to create for you. Key name is training. By default it is considering a PEM file. Create a key file. So you are going to get a PEM file. By default it is going to download it. And next one is security groups. If you are creating, if you are allowing, it is gonna default it is going to create one security group, but let it create the default one. Allow SSH traffic from, and allow SSH HTTPS internet. Okay, and the configuration storage is you will get a minimum 8 GB of your boot disk. And still we have advanced, but if you want you can select or else you don't need to select all these things. Launch instance. See, if you want multiple, you can give 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 also. Any number of instances you can create. But right now I'm giving just only one launch instance. So your server is ready for access. Hi Prashant. Okay. So this is the server. It is in running state. Still it is initializing. I mean in the background it is going to allocate all your things. So if you look at the downside, once you create one server, it is going to allocate you one instance ID, and it is going to allocate one public IP to your instance and private IP to your address. Okay, and IAM role you haven't set anything. That's okay. It is created on VPC ID for your instance. Subnet ID it is automatically creating, and AMI ID whatever the ID you are chosen, and that's okay. Name, all these details you will you can see like this. Here if you check status and alarm, you can define your metrics to the server, and you can monitor the usage of the server, like CPU usage, network usage. So all these things you can monitor like this. And security. So these are all the inbound and outbound rules. By default it is gonna create once you launch this instance like this. So this is the security group. It is randomly it is created. These are the network details, storages, what storage it is allocated to your machine, and tags. Tag in the sense the name, what name I had given, had given a DevOps Python training, right? How to access this one? Since we have already created, right? So there are two ways you can access. If you simply go ahead and connect here, see there is a connect option. I hope this should not connect, but I'll tell you. Okay. Why I'm able to connect? Because I had given a HTTPS all the traffics, subnet everything I mean assigned, right. That's why I'm able to access. I did some tick marks, right, to allow the SSH port, HTTPS, HTTP, all these ports are allowed. That's why we are unable to. I mean, we are able to connect to the instance. So, so like this from the console itself, we are able to access like this. But how are you accessing from your um, laptop? Since we had created a one training.pem file, just um, if you have a Git already, so Git is bit easier to connect the instances. If you haven't installed, just to install this Git part, so that anyway we are using a Git, right, for the session. Let me give me some time. I need to get some command how to connect. Okay, yeah. SSH. Let me check where which path we are into. User. Where is this file? So it's located under the downloads, right? CD. Or let me open from the download itself. Or we can provide a path itself. You don't need to navigate there. The SSH-I, the path of the PEM file where you are keeping, and EC2 user. EC2 user in the sense when you are selecting, the um, which image we had chosen. Amazon, right? Amazon EC2. So that's why by default you will get a EC2 as a I mean user if you are selecting Amazon image. So somewhere you will get that user details. But don't worry. Um, when you are choosing, AWS Linux as, then by default you will get a EC2 as your EC2 one user. So similarly, if you are accessing through the your laptop, EC2 user at the public IP. So this is the public IP. So first time it is asking you to authenticate. Just type yes. Now the details are added to the laptops. You know, it is going to add your all the keys, fingerprints. Okay. Now, so where you are, you can just check. You can play the your Linux commands, working directory. How many? What is the you know mount point? Or what is the size of your EC2 instance? Everything you can check like this. But at the end, you need to understand. You need to practice how to create an instance like this and how to access through your laptop, because that is the challenging part, right? So so that's how you will learn how to create account, how to access your EC2 instance from your laptop, as well as how to connect the in the GUI itself. Here itself you are going to just connect the instance like this, right? And so far what we did, we just assigned only some memory, right? What if you wanted to, suppose I wanted to increase the RAM or the capacity of this instance, I need to enhance. You can simply just stop the instance and go to actions. Here you will get an option. You can where is that, manage. But as I said, no, you after once you spin up the instance, you can modify the things like this. If you wanted to change your security group, change the security group like this. Networking things also, you can attach the network, detach. So like this option is available. Managing the tags, if you wanted to edit the user data, manage, like you wanted to manage your tags. So all these things can be done through this GUI itself. But you need to explore once you get your own account, so that you will get an idea how to create all these things. Any questions so far? Anybody? Shruti, Sunil,
No, I think I'm clear.
Sunil, you are good, right? Prashant, so you hope at least you got an idea how to create an instance, how to terminate an instance. Say I'm going to terminate whatever I had created, terminating the instance. But is this a right practice to create an instance with the different security groups, different different keys? So it's not a good practice to always maintain the different security group, different security keys, right? Key pairs. So for that, you just I mean I already created a security groups, but again I'll show you how to create that one. In the left side, if you see security groups, I'm just what we are doing. We are just predefining our the predefining the security. I mean that suppose in future if you wanted to spin up the multiple instances, you no need to create the security groups always, right? Once you create it, so no need to create again and again. You just simply use that existing security groups. I'm just using training hyphen security group, and so after that you will get to know how to allow these things. So that first we will have a demo. Okay, one training security group I had created, and key pairs also I'm gonna create one key pair, which will be useful for our training. But we have already created one training security group key pair. That's fine. If you wanted to, again you are going to insert the instance. Just training 2 I'm just giving using the Amazon Linux instance. Here just choose the, instead of create a new security group, use the existing security group, so that you no need to create again, again and again, right? Because all the rules we have already defined, so you no need to define again and again, right? Okay, and security groups is fine. Where is the key file? Yeah, here is a key file. We have created on training key file in the first uh, when we initiated in the first EC2 instance. So launch the instance. So your instance is ready, so that you are able to access your instance without any issues. Yeah, see, training 2 is running now. Just allow for some time. But if you have, doubt how companies are running, creating the hundreds together instances, because you cannot create 100 servers in the GUI, right? So if you have that question, then the cloud formation tools comes into the picture, where they are playing an important role to create the instances, delete the instances, modify the instances. So everything is done through the tools. What tools? Anyway, we will going to discuss, right? So that is the reason. Manual way of creating and through the SDK level of creating is you are going to learn in the upcoming no upcoming days.
Gopi, do we can access this, EC2 in the web anywhere, any of the country, like
Yeah. So not any of the countries. I'll give you the
in the
instance. This
private?
one.
Yeah, yeah.
Just check you are able to access this link.
Okay.
See, myself itself I cannot connect. I'll tell you why. At least you are able to see the screen. Just click on that one in the chat box. I pinged, or else you want me to ping it itself in the documents.
I just clicked it. It is asking for the credentials.
Credentials, yeah, because the session is, see, the session is open in the my computer. That's why
Mhm.
at least I am able to see the screen. Uh, Forget about this
Okay.
failed connect to instance.
Do you have terminated the instance or
No, no,
is
no.
it running?
See, it is running. Again, I'm saying I'm connecting because since I've already connected the console, right? It
Okay.
is again I'm connecting through my session itself. That's why I'm able to at least see the screen. You are unable to screen. Why? Because you don't have authentication. You don't have these credentials, right?
Okay.
But for your question, how to access this
Private
instances
instance.
outside the network?
Yes, exactly.
That's how uh, the this concept comes into the picture. VPC
Oh, okay. So in the further
virtual
classes.
further class, not further classes, but today only we can discuss because um, we will this AWS basics part. Let's complete today itself because so next class we can discuss the different tools, right? So far we just gone through the EC2 part. Um, we can discuss S3 bucket also. First, let's discuss what is the VPC. So
Okay.
VPC in the sense it's an virtual private cloud. Virtual private cloud VPC. It's again a resource in the AWS cloud where it is going to authenticate your resources. What all the components comes in under this VPC? Subnet. In subnet itself, you will get a private subnet. This is little relevant to the network, whatever the VPCs components we are talking about. Public subnet. Okay. Route table. So all these items are the components going to play a separate important role in the virtual private cloud VPC, and its private gateway. And there are many things that VPC peering. So if you look at the where is the dashboard? It's okay. So let me get a one architecture. In a single VPC, if you are going to, I'll show you one VPC ID here. So this is one server we had created, and it is associated to one VPC ID. See, virtual private cloud ID. So if you have a, I mean, maybe if you are having, is it each server is having a separate VPC ID? No, we can define a one virtual private cloud for all the resources. It's up to our wish. If you want a application, all app servers should be under one VPC. All database servers should be under one VPC, and so like this. And whatever the servers under created under the one VPC which is exposed to the internet, and some of the databases which we cannot directly expose to the internet, right? Database servers. That is, we have to keep under the private subnet. So like that, there are if you open like this, there are some servers which we need to keep under the private subnets. There are some servers which needs to keep under the public subnets, because that is how we are maintaining the security part, right? So we cannot give all the servers to the uh, public, right? And that is again a complaints, security complaints. A lot of things comes into the picture when we are discussing about the VPC. And how this, if you are creating a multiple VPCs, how VPCs communicating each other. There is a concept called VPC peering is there, which allows the which allows to communicate between the multiple VPCs. So these things is done through the network part, which we don't need to much bother about the networking, because there is a separate team. But it's good that you need to understand what are these all these terminologies. What is VPC? What is subnet? In the interviews,
Okay,
definitely.
Gopi,
Yeah,
sorry to disturb you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got an emergency call. Okay,
Mhm,
I'm just leaving.
mhm.
I'll see the recording. If any doubts is there, I'll get back to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, Sunil, no problem.
Sorry. Thank you.
No problem, no problem. Carry on. Okay. Shruti, are you there?
Yes, Gopi.
Okay, okay. So you're getting this VPC part, right?
Virtual private cloud, little it is,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
correct. It will take some time,
confusing.
because the terminology itself is quite confusing.
Yeah.
But it will take some time to understand if you just explore, so that you will get an idea. Initially, that's why we
Okay.
cannot, I cannot merge everything in one session, because the cloud
Yes.
itself, it is gonna take 1 week time to deliver the things.
Yes.
But I am just for our DevOps purpose, because since we are installing all the tools in the AWS cloud itself, no, just I'm just giving an overview of what is the cloud and all VPC.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just private network which we are defining in our AWS cloud. That's it. And all these things, just if you want, we can explore more in the next class also. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Next, there is a concept called S3 bucket. S3 bucket is again you can maintain your backups. How database backups are going to maintain in one location. Usually, you are going to keep in the file servers, right? So like similarly in the S3, I mean AWS itself, they are going to provide a service called S3 bucket. Sim
Only backup files are kept it here, or how it is?
anything.
It's a out of storage.
It's a storage. Yeah,
It's a storage.
it's
Okay.
a storage. You can usually backups are keeping, because the size is huge, right? It's you cannot go ahead and simply extend the disk. So that
Mm-hmm.
is, you don't have such issues here in if you are keeping in the S3 bucket. You can keep up to, I think, 1 TB, more than that also, if the backup size. If you want
Okay.
more, again, you need to raise a separate ticket to the AWS team to allocate more spaces. So that
Okay.
flexibility is available. If you are just, you can create a bucket like this, bucket name, DevOps bucket. Versioning also available. Tagging also available. Bucket key is enabled by default. Create a bucket key. Sorry, create a bucket.
What? Uh,
DevOps bucket name with the name already exists. So why it is erroring out? Because this is global service. S3 bucket is a global service. If somebody is already created this bucket in any other accounts, they don't accept. That's why always the bucket name should be unique.
Okay.
See, DevOps training buckets is ready to use. You can upload your files whatever you want. You can maintain the versioning also, and you can. So what happens when creating the files in the bucket, and if you are leaving for years together, again it is a they are going to charge you if you are maintaining so and so GB, right?
Okay. Also, whatever the instance that we have created, right,
Mm-hmm,
in previously,
mm-hmm,
in the EC2,
mm.
so whatever the database that we will be creating under that, so all the backup can be configured to this bucket. I mean, we can
Exactly,
redirect that.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, that is how the whichever the database is running under the cloud, obviously that is the primary choice for them, because
Mm.
that is the cheapest way of allocating your space. Or else they,
Okay.
if you go with the, I mean, you don't need to go with different services, backup services. S3 is the better, I mean, um, without any issues, right? If you are going
Your
with a third
voice,
party,
your voice is breaking.
is it? How about now? Can you hear me?
Now it is fine.
Fine, fine, right? Okay.
Yeah, now it is fine.
So yeah, the AWS itself, it is providing all sort of services. So you don't need to go to the third parties to allocate your backups storage, right? So it
Okay.
is flexible enough to do all your backup operations without any issues. You can easily download, you can easily push back to your bucket through the programmatic way also. Not only you are not supposed to go there and you just upload through manually, but through programmatically it is going to push to whatever the backups are created under
Okay.
the DBS. It is going to maintain in the S3 bucket.
So are we going to cover that this one creating the backup of the instance that we have created now, or it is not
Mm,
necessary
no,
now for the
not
DevOps?
this. Yeah, see, we are not dealing with the backups
Okay.
in the DevOps, right? This is
Sure, sure.
just a
Okay.
basics for the DevOps. I mean,
Okay.
when I say basics, we are not using any backups. I mean, taking the backup, restoring them, right? That is again a
Okay.
DB's
Mhm.
topics. So we are just learning the tools like Git, Bitbucket, not Bitbucket, Terraform, Ansible. Everything is we are
Got
going
it.
to install on the AWS EC2 only. So that is the reason. If you are not aware of these basics, you will get confused.
Okay.
So that is the reason. Just giving a overview about the AWS instances.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's almost 11 o'clock. So do you have any questions, Shruti?
No, as of now, I think I'm clear. But we just have to do a revision, and then it will be 30